If you've been around this podcast at all in any length of time, you always know that you see on my hat in any given day that it says create your art. And this is a mission of mine that I know can often be misinterpreted as art as a creative endeavor.
As an artist.
Create your music, create your art piece, create your digital graphic, or any kind of creative endeavor that you would naturally think of. Mm-hmm. But I hold this mission near and dear to my heart, is that we are all artists in our own way. I tell this story often and I love it so much. I was in 8th grade biology class.
Yeah.
My Mrs. T was my 8th grade biology class. She was awesome. Let's just say, Dustin, I didn't care for biology and I didn't really care for school. I wasn't there. Like, I was there because I had to be, not because I loved this class.
Perfectly normal.
But Mrs. T was a special person, and she began to unfold about how the world worked and the biology behind everything. And I remember there was a moment we were talking about leaves or something crazy like that. And she held up this leaf and was talking about how everything goes together and how it all is put to in this certain way. And she goes, "Oh my goodness, isn't it just so cool how this all works?" And she literally made us stop in the middle of what we're doing and applaud God for how awesome he was, right? Like we're in the middle of class, like, okay, Mrs. T lost her mind. All right, we're going. But over the weeks and months that unfolded in her class, she showed me somebody that didn't care about biology, didn't care about anything school related. Yeah. She showed me the beauty of the world through the eyes of biology.
And through the eyes of her passion about it.
Yes. And so I always said, Mrs. T is an artist. Mrs. T creates beautiful art when she gives me the biology lesson in a way that inspires me, even beyond just getting the test right.
Yeah.
You know, my dad was he was a CPA by trade, right? He did books and numbers and all of this, but he also had this entrepreneurial spirit about him. We call him a serial entrepreneur now at this point, but my dad knew how to run numbers and make things work, to build things. And he got to work and built a business that over years and years and years, millions and millions of dollars was created for missions work and created for the business and created for everything. And I look at the way that he could, put together tax returns, and he could do CPA work and run books. And it was an art. It was a beautiful art. And because of the work that he can do, so many people have jobs. So many people have the ability to go, I get to be a part of something bigger than myself. My dad was an artist. Even though if I said that to him to his face, he would go, no, I'm not. Right. And I'm sure that there are 1,000 people that come to mind in your life. And Dustin, maybe I'll even softball pitch it to you to tell me a story. But there's got to be somebody in your life that you go, holy cow. The way they see this, the way they work in this way, the way they communicate this idea, it changes me. It makes me better. They are an artist in their way. Dustin, does anybody stand out to you in your life that comes to mind when I say that?
Man, so many. I mean, as you were saying biology, I was like, yeah, I remember Mr. Cummings in 8th grade biology, that he was the same way. He was so fired up about it. That he approached it from such a different angle, that he made kids who cared zero craps about biology actually and someone like me who was like, that was always my hard subject, was science. Like, I never got good grades in science. The best grades I ever got in science throughout my 12 years of what do they call that, K through 12 school? I don't know, whatever that is, undergrad. I don't know. Whatever it's
Junior
called.
High?
You know what it's called. Grade school. That's what it is.
Yeah. Grade school. That's it.
The best grade I ever got in grade school in science was 8th grade biology, because he made it. He made me see it through his eyes, because he was able to convey the passion that he had about it.
Yes.
And that was how he saw things, and that the way that he conveyed the importance of the message, that he was so convinced that it was mega important, right? Like he was so convinced that like everybody needs to understand this, and if they could just grasp this, then it would change the game for them, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're seeing now for our clients at 1898, and that's what we're starting to unlock through this Create Your Art journey.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so true, man. And that's, if you have that person in your mind that comes, that pops in when we're talking about this, I mean, you understand what I mean when I say you're an artist, because you come across those folks that are creating their art each and every day. And that's what I hope you experience, you as the listener, you as the watcher, that you get to do that hard work of going, what is that thing that you can put together a few podcast episodes of your own, and finally after 18 episodes you go, you know what, this is the thing that I need to be about.
Yeah.
And I hope that for you in some way, shape, or form. And so moving forward, this podcast that is currently coaching with content, that had its time and its place, we are moving now to what we're going to call the Create Your Art podcast. And we are going to spend our time talking with, we'll call industry experts, industry artists, if you will, that are doing amazing things in their field. And we'll sit down with storytellers, and we will sit down with graphic designers and songwriters and sales leaders. And, we got a couple of people on the list that are outside the box, like somebody that works in water, and all kinds of things, all kinds of conversations where we're going to have industry experts on, sharing their heart, sharing their vision of what it was like. It's going to take me back to my 8th grade biology class, where I sit there with Mrs. T, and I get to listen to and be inspired by people that are doing amazing things in the world. And my greatest hope in this whole thing is that you listen to a conversation and you get unlocked somewhere along the way to go, holy cow, I got to go either work with that person, or I got to go start doing my thing, because I've been on the sidelines for too long. I have not been putting in the work. I've not been putting in the time, and it's time for me to get off the sidelines and get into the game. And that's ultimately what my hope and my prayer for the Create Your Art podcast is going to be.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna switch this. You're gonna see things from logos to us talking about it, like welcome to the Create Your Art podcast, and all of those fun things that we get to switch over time. But I wanted to come on and give the heartbeat behind this. And I'm sure you'll hear some more of these stories, and maybe even some of the origin story behind this. But ultimately, I think this is the play, because I've spent the last handful of years, even in my own content journey, going, how can I inspire people to create their art? Every hashtag that I use is Create Your Art. Like, this is probably the only one I use at this point, because hashtags are dead, I guess. So we're just going to keep Create Your Art. But ultimately, I just wanted to share that with you guys, because I feel like, even though the first few episodes were really, really strong and really, really good and needed, I was trying to be somebody that I'm not. And it's not that I can't teach on those things, but it felt like if Mrs. T was not really excited about biology, and she would just kind of get us through the tests, and she was just punching her clock so that she could go home at night and sit on her couch and watch TV. That would be a completely different experience than what I had in that 8th grade biology class.
Yeah.
And that's what I hope to do in this new form of the podcast.